Hello my gorgeous peopleini, my name is Sasha Bonasin and I'm a psychic medium, and these are your weekly horoscope tarot card readings, and they are going to be for the air signs of the zodiac, which are Gemini, Libra and Aquarius, and it's going to be in between the 11th and the actual 17th of April 2022. So this weekly horoscope tarot card forecast is going to be for the air signs of the actual zodiac, which are Gemini, Libra and Aquamarini, and they are going to be individually time-stamped, and it's in between the 11th and the 17th of April 2022. And I'm going to start with my gorgeous Gemini. Gemini, you know, you're gonna realize at the beginning of this week that there is a specific part of your life that literally came to an end, because you're gonna realize exactly where you are using your energy or where you are kind of wasting your energy. And it happens, you know, wasting of energy, you know, it happens when we reach a certain point in our lives when karmically something comes to an end, and then basically we just have to come to terms with this. But also at the same time, the bottom line is it's down to you, it's down to us to realize and establish which part of your life that is, because by you realizing and establishing this, you're allowing yourself to move on with your life, because you have learned a very specific lesson, you know. And this life, you know, it's all about learning, and it's all about succeeding, it's all about realizing this, it's all about moving on and allowing our spirit to actually go on the next stage in our particular journey. So my gorgeous Gemini, this is going to be very important for you to establish exactly what part of your life. So it's to do maybe with like a certain project, because most certainly, or certain option or certain opportunity, because most certainly it's something that you have been kind of doing, and it's the specific part of your life that you have been using lots of energy, but at the same time the energy leakage or the energy draining was absolutely undeniable, because it manifested in your life, my gorgeous Gemini, in terms of worrying. So basically this is where you lose a balance a little bit. On one hand, you just kind of end up worrying more than anything else. So you have been worrying about this specific kind of a part in your life for a while now. So the sooner you establish what this is, the better it's going to be. So it's not only about establishing which part of your life you literally need to cut off, you literally need to move on from, you literally need to move away from, and you're gonna come up with something else, because that specific situation I'm talking about, it is just something that you're gonna realize that it's not gonna kind of work for you, but at least, you know, at the same time it was a kind of amazing part of your personal progress. So it's important in itself, which you may not realize almost immediately, but then later on as the time goes by, you will see exactly what I mean, because you will see what was kind of like what started to make you feel really negative about your life, negative about yourself, negative about your spiritual path. You know, it made you feel like a way too anxious. So you just need to establish this and literally remove. It's to do with the discontinuance that you're going to make. Yes, it's a little bit of disappointment that you're going to have, but then again, it's important to say that as soon as you kind of become aware of, at the same time, you know, you are also subconsciously gonna feel like, without anyone even telling you, that there is something better coming up, there is something better about to manifest. So this is why this is gonna be so brilliant. So you will just subconsciously, you're already gonna feel it, you will already know things, you're already gonna be aware of things. You know, it's just allowing yourself, allowing your inspiration, you know, to literally take over. This week, when it comes to that, it's really important. And also when it comes to the numbers, it's not in between 11th and the 17th. You know, these numbers are really sacred, and it's all about us discovering ourselves, but it's all about us learning to read the signs along the way, because there are specific signs that you're going to learn how to read that you've never kind of like managed to connect to before. So it's all about you realizing, my gorgeous Geminini, and it's a stage of your life that the last 8 months, 7 to 8 months, this was like a very dominating your life quite a lot. So it's basically, as soon as you realize what this is, it's brilliant, because you will feel like, oh my God, there is something else that is going to come up. There is something else is going to come up. Along those lines, this is going to be really important for you indeed. And you know what? Of course, there's something really important. It's about to come up. It was always there. It was always around you. But it was just waiting for this specific moment to come up, to manifest, in order for you to realize this. Because you're going to have a moment after that, and suddenly something is going to come to you, and the moment is going to be, you're going to feel so wise, you're going to feel so deep, you're going to feel like you're opening up within, and this is brilliant. And at the same time, you will be able to establish, how come that you are feeling like that you're opening up really nicely. I mean, in the spiritual ways and in the spiritual terms, you just start talking and you let this take over, and then you just realize, oh my God, I miss this so much. I can connect without kind of thinking too much, like which words you're going to use, for example. It just all starts coming out beautifully. So that's what I'm saying to you, that soon after that, there is going to be the moment of wiseness that you are going to have, and it's just you're going to realize suddenly, some kind of hidden emotion, it's going to come to the surface, and it's all going to point towards the very practical part of your life that you need to kind of pay attention to, but at the same time you need to be as analytical as you possibly can. This is pretty much so coming from you making an important judgment here, but at the same time it's to do with you tapping within this serene knowledge. A spiritual penetration is exactly what I'm talking about, but also what you have learned over the last year. It's going to play an important role, because it's all going to be pointing down primarily. Why is it going to be so important? It's about the actual part of your life that was way too frequently it was restraining you. So this is this energy that I was talking about, that you just really need to come to terms with, and then you are just allow yourself to move on. That in itself, it's really going to be brilliant at around the midweek, my gorgeous Geminini, because it's going to give you control that you thought that you've lost. And I'm not saying oh my God, that you've lost the control, but it's not just a midweek, but from the beginning of the actual 11th, from the beginning of this week, you're gonna feel a very strong energy, very strong vibration, very strong feeling. Suddenly, you are gonna feel like you're having a control over parts of your lives that you didn't know what to do about. And this is gonna start from the 11th, and this is why everything is going to be brilliant for you, and it's going to start really nicely and gently falling into places. But at the same time, by the time you get to the week, it's all about the feeling this so much, because you're going to become aware. You're going to have an important message here, and the message that you're going to have, it's to do with you, it's to do with your path, it's to do with your success, and it's to do with things that you have been working on, and it's to do with an important accomplishment. This is important, and this is how you're going to feel. This is brilliant, because almost immediately you will kind of, oh my God, you're going to feel so relieved, because it is just to do with the overburdened feeling that you will become aware of, that you had for a while over the last about 10 months now, and it causes excessive pressures into your life, and that is going to open your eyes, and it's going to make you realize exactly what do you need to do in order to resolve certain problems. So this is absolutely brilliant. I repeat that this is an important time to actually think about yourself primarily, and you also need to remember that this is the time to put yourself first above everyone else. I know it sounds like, oh my God, you're so selfish. No, baby, no, it is nothing to do with the selfishness. Do not even go there. It's nothing to do with the selfishness. It's to do with you taking care of yourself, protecting yourself. By protecting yourself, you protect your creativity. By protecting your creativity, you protect your energy. By protecting your energy, you protect your life, okay? This is why this is so important. By the time you get to the last part of this week, my gorgeous Geminini, it's just you're also gonna kind of become aware of a little, pretty much, so you're gonna become awake to the actual unknown dangers. At around the end of the week, you're gonna become aware of the unknown dangers, and these unknown dangers are kind of gonna be connected to the certain imposture somebody who is like a pretty much so going to become obvious to you that they weren't saying the truth, they weren't honest, and this is the somebody who is within your circle, somebody who is around you, and this in itself is going to make you wonder, and this in itself is going to make you realize something quite specific here, that maybe you will just want to kind of like rethink about some kind of situation that you wanted to go into with this person, type of thing. So it's just going to help you a lot to remove yourself from the person and the situation that could actually be not really good for you. And it's like pretty much so to do with the part of your life that that kind of manifested within the last couple of years, and that in itself have made you to kind of share your spiritual journey with someone. But now at this moment in time, when I'm talking about the spiritual journey with someone, it's more about the actual work, it's more about the finances, and it's more about that side of the actual life that I'm talking about. So now pretty much you need to understand that you are going to learn how much is important to keep certain things to yourself, and how much is important to actually trust only those people who you really know really well, and especially when it comes to like a trusting with the finances and things like that. On another hand, my gorgeous Gemini, what else is quite important here at around the end of the week, just pay attention to the actual realization that you are going to have in terms of the actual opportunity, because it's the opportunity that you have been thinking about for a while, but now in itself you're going to realize that you've got an extra time in order to kind of like focus on this opportunity and take on. And now you must remember not to rush whatsoever, because this opportunity, it's not something that you are going to take on, but it's going to be the different opportunity. And this is why I need you to kind of not rush. And I'm talking about the opportunity that you were aware of for a while, that you knew about for a while, but also something was like kind of really slowing you down, and something was blocking you before you took this opportunity on completely. So I really hope you understand what am I talking about, because by the end of the week that opportunity is going to present itself to you, but you will know that almost immediately, almost instantly, this is not going to be something for you, and this is not going to be something that you should run this is not something that you should take on right now. You will know, and you will become absolutely aware, and although you're not going to have this information written anywhere or anything like that, but it's all going to come from your subconscious mind, to not to rush with anything whatsoever, because the opportunity that I'm talking about, it's something that you wanted to do for a while, for a long time. But then again, at the same time, there was a very specific reason why this opportunity didn't take off, why this opportunity didn't manifest. So at the end of the week, when you become aware of the opportunity that you've been thinking for a while, just remember that there is a way better, way more powerful, way more significant opportunity coming up. Okay, so this is something that you need to remember, and it's not even going to be that long. Very important indeed. The next sign that I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be my gorgeous Libra. My gorgeous Libra, you see, this week it looks like you're gonna have absolutely enough, because you are gonna decide like a big mama, like there is no tomorrow, that you're gonna work on this specific part of your life that caused so much negativity, like my lord, so much negativity in terms of like a darkness, a heavy energy, a negative energy, a confused energy, the energy that really kind of makes us to feel like we can't do what we want to do, and the energy that it's like kind of not real energy, but it's the energy that we have to come to terms with. And in order to understand that there is a time in life that when we just have to like really step out of this particular energy and literally go our own way. And when I say that we literally have to go our own way, this is the time when you give a credit to yourself no matter what. And you know what, I'm gonna tell you something. saying, this life can be absolutely incredible, but it can also be just as crazy, and it's all part of it. It's all part of life, and it's all literally down to you. And I'm saying this because it's down to you to step out of the unknown, step out of the confusion, step out of the negativity. I'm not saying that you're confused, you're negative, you're sad, you're this and that. No, baby, no. But I'm talking about the part of your life that you have been through, but it's kind of lately, for a while, not only you, but lots of other signs, of course, but it affected you in such a way where without you even realized this, because you started, maybe planning your life according to somebody else's turns. You maybe started planning your life according to someone else, and this is the energy that I'm talking about. This is the energy that you need to protect. This is very important, because at the beginning of the week you're going to become aware of absolutely exactly what I was talking about when it comes to you, my gorgeous Libra, here indeed, because it's all about, the restraint caused by others that actually made you to lose a little bit of faith, and this in itself is just a really interesting time, because at the beginning of the week you are going to have a very interesting surprise, very beautiful surprise, very powerful surprise. And the surprise that I'm talking about at the beginning of the week, it's all about the actually very much so like a beautiful achievement. You're going to become aware of your own beautiful achievement, and this is going to be part of your life that is going to be highlighted, because you will know this in itself is going to be very rewarding for you. But at the same time, ultimately, it's going to be even more rewarding, my gorgeous Libra. This is a big mama moment I'm talking about. At the same time, you will see something that was always there. Okay, and that in itself is going to really open you up even more when it comes to reading in between the lines. Sometimes there are things there, but we need to kind of like reach the certain stage of our life when we can just let ourselves go. So something was still like a little bit holding you down, and this is nothing unusual when it comes to things that we have all been through, over the last 36 to 48 months. The certain things, leave energetic mark on us. But it's again time to it's to do with our personal timing and things like that. So this is nothing unusual, but it's really important when it comes to you, my gorgeous Libra, indeed. So it's all about the actual really nice surprise that you're actually going to have at the beginning of the week, when it comes to your own achievement. And I really like it, because it's all about you feeling this like really rewarding, but then again ultimately it's going to be even more rewarding. That in itself, it's going to be really brilliant, because it's really kind of going to also mark a very interesting and very important stage when it comes to your life. You really will want to remove yourself from sadness and negativity and darkness and this heavy energy, and also restraint caused by others, by people who don't mean anything to you. And you will really want to step out of this equation. You will really want to step out of here, and this in itself is going to create a really enormous amount of creativity. My gorgeous Libra, I can feel your creativity. This is going to really create an enormous amount of creativity, and that in itself, it's really going to help you to work on like kind of like a quite significant part of your life where you felt that you could have had like some kind of a false start, like at some time ago over the last 36 to 48 months. You already kind of had a start, but you feel like it was a false start, because everything went like pear-shaped after that moment in time. Everything went like, oh my god, like a big mama, but big mama upside down, for a while, back then, sorry. So this is why this is going to have a very strong connection with that part of your life that was like quite cloudy now when you think about it in terms of energy, but it was also connected to the false start. So it's all about your own creativity, my gorgeous Libra, that you're going to feel, and this creativity, it's really going to put you like at the beginning of the week in a really pretty much so in a very in a very significant stage in your life when it comes to like a sudden urge to explore. explore, and it's all to do with a new beginning. It's all to do with a new start. You will all feel this powerful energy that is going to be pushing you more and pushing you more and pushing you more towards a specific part of your life that you need to kind of throw yourself in, that you need to explore. It is a very strong part of your life. It is a very strong part of your spiritual journey that is going to make you to explore this. There is something that you're going to find out, and that in itself is going to like, oh my God, this is brilliant. It's going to make you feel so good. It's going to be very meaningful experience for you, but also at the same time, it's going to become the birth of something really important here. Something is going to start here. It's going to be mind-blowing indeed, and it's going to take an additional 15 weeks until it explodes in the best possible way. But it's to do with the birth, with the beginning of a very meaningful experience that is in turn into like an adventure, because it's going to help you to reconnect with yourself, but it's also going to kind of like really remind you of like a flavor of like how things used to be to you. This will mean quite a lot, how things used to be at a specific point in the part of your life, and now this is also going to be contributing towards your own spiritual wings. At around the midweek, my gorgeous Libra, you are pretty much so going to have a very, very interesting sign here. At around the midweek, you're going to have a very interesting sign, because there is something that you're going to kind of really wonder about. There is a lot going to be on your mind, and it's all going to be connected to the beginning of the week. So at around the midweek, the sign that you're going to have is just really, a lot is going to be on your mind. You're going to be wondering quite a lot, and you will know what to do, but you will not exactly know how to get there. But there are certain things that are going to be worrying you, and they're going to be on your mind at around the beginning of the week, and just out of the blue, there is a very specific sign that you are going to have. An animal, some kind of animal is going to reconnect with you yet again, and it's bringing a very specific message. Exactly when you see that animals, wherever you see this animal, however this animal comes across, however this animal manifests itself, it doesn't matter. It's bringing a really important message, and you will know that this message is for you. And the message is for once that you need to pay attention to the adjustment, what you're thinking about. You need to make an adjustment. You're going to be absolutely fine. Don't worry. It's just a sign that you don't have to worry about a specific part of your life. It's going to be absolutely fine. The more you worry about it, how you're going to get there, the more difficult it's going to be, the more kind of confusing the energy is going to be. So this is what your sign is going to be. Whether you come across this animal or not, it doesn't matter. This is what your sign is actually going to be. So just, it's to do with, as soon as you see this animal, as soon as you see this sign, as soon as you see this omen, you just need to almost immediately reflect on what you were thinking at that moment in time. But most importantly, you need to understand what you were thinking about. It needs a little bit of management, it needs a little bit of adjustment, but you are most certainly, most importantly, above all, on the right path. And the challenges that you will have ahead, you will do absolutely great with. So this is brilliant. And at the same time, my gorgeous Libra, at around the midweek, you're also going to have a pretty much so a moment, like a bit of a hermit moment as well. You will kind of like feel like you want to be by yourself just a little bit. And this is absolutely brilliant, because at the same time, you are going to have this moment of your own personal self-illumination. And when that comes up, at the time of your own spiritual withdrawal, at the same time, you will know that basically something that in self-denial, you're about the self-denial, something to do with the self-denial is going to come up. And it's like, it's basically when you have this hermit moment, and this is going to be really personal. You need to talk to someone, and you need to reconnect with someone. It's just going to connect you with somebody very special in your life, somebody whom you have lost a contact with, and you need to reconnect almost immediately, because they need you. You need them. They need you because they need your energy and a little bit of healing. But on another hand, you are going to find out something very, very specific through this person, some kind of like a situation. You're going to find out that you're going to find mind-blowing, but it's also at the same time going to give you a really nice idea indeed. Okay, and the last part of week, my gorgeous Libra, it's all about the actual, it's just that you are starting the process of your own transition. You're starting the process of change. My gorgeous Libra, this is absolutely mind-blowing moment here. You're starting an important transition moment of change, and it's like suddenly you're going to feel bored. And this is so important, because you see what is going to be revealed to you at the same time. Pay attention to what you're going to feel so bored bored around the end of the week, this week, my gorgeous Libras, this is so important. Just remember, the week is starting on the 11th and it's going to finish on the 17th. So it's all about a new beginning, our rejuvenation, our little awakening, but at the same time, it's about our spirituality, and it's about us being able to read the signs on a much higher spectacle, on a much higher level, from a much higher angle. And when we reach a much higher level like this, we see things that we didn't see before. We see confirmations we didn't see before. Okay, so it's all about the actual you know, at the end of the week you're gonna feel extremely bored, you know, with the specific parts of your life, and that in itself is just really gonna make you aware of the specific sacrifice that you're gonna need to make. And the sacrifice is going to come in terms of the actual readjustment, and that in itself, it's something that before, if you had this opportunity before, you would be completely unwilling to do, but because the energy's changed, you know, you will be able to respond to this situation in a completely different way. And also, you know, you are going to become aware of the little devil, you know, at around the end of the week. And this devil hasn't got anything to do with you or your life in personally, but you will know that this devil just has got some kind of very nasty and dirty connection with things that have been going on in your life, you know, from the outside, that have been affecting you in so many different ways. And that in itself, it's really going to just give you that final push when it comes to that amazing change, when it comes to everything what I said from the beginning of the reading. You know, the devil that you're going to become aware of the end of the reading is also involved with other things that have affected you previously, but it's nothing to do with your personal life. For example, you see, it's no one in your personal life, but it's somebody from the outside who unfortunately has got this power in order to kind of mess the energy up with people. So you becoming aware of this devil, you having a very interesting and unique confirmation, is just going to be that final push that you need when it comes to the stepping into an unknown situation that you will know is the best thing to do at this moment in your life. Okay, so the next sign that I'm going to be talking about is going to be my gorgeous, my ever so precious, my beautiful Aquarius, my beautiful Aquamarinis. This is in between the 11th and the 17th of April 2022. You really do need to help someone out so much. Someone is so lost around you. Someone needs your help. Someone is maybe, there is something, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm not being Dark Lala. This is nothing to do with it being Dark Lala. Don't shout at me, man. Don't scream at me. No, I'm joking. It's nothing to do with the being Dark Lala, okay? But it's to do with somebody who means to you so much, somebody who you love, somebody who you look up to, somebody who you like, somebody who's an important part of your spiritual journey, somebody who's like your family member, somebody who's like a very kind of vulnerable at the moment, but somebody who could be also your great friend, somebody who is very, very important to you. It's actually, but very, very strongly like a maybe family member, or somebody who's very close to you, like a family member, but it's vulnerable, maybe due to their age or due to something that is going on around them. You know, they're very vulnerable at the moment. You know, I think it's to do with like probably sensitivity when it comes due to their age and things like that. So somebody's being very vulnerable, and somebody's also that particular person who is vulnerable around you. You know, if you don't have a family, I completely understand, because some people don't have a family, you know, that's completely understandable. If you don't have a family, then it's going to be somebody who's very dear to you, somebody who's very close to you, somebody who's very important to you. But it is this element of somebody's sensitivity through their age for some reason. So this is what not that I'm saying that people are sensitive as they get older, but it's just to do along those lines. Okay, so I hope I make sense. Okay, and I hope you understand what I'm saying. But it's to do with a person who needs your help, because you know they have been terribly misguided, and I think that somebody's trying to take an advantage of them, and you need to step in, you need to step forward, you need to take something on, you need to take some kind of problem that person very close to you is dealing with, because that person very close to you, it's also very powerful in many different ways, and that person is able to understand, like, oh my god, this universe from every single point of like view, like, oh my lord, you know. So it's someone very very powerful, but at the same time something is happening with that person, and maybe they're not as sharp as they were, and you need to protect this person because somebody is trying to take an advantage of them. So you have to act quick, but also you have to be very gentle, and you have to be very sensible about how can you help out to that person to maybe take the load of their weight, yeah, you know what I mean, like they take the weight off their shoulders, you know, away for them. They just need a little bit of help, because if the situation carries on in this way, it's only gonna get worse. And now at the moment you are able to actually prove your point, because if you step in at this moment in time, you will know exactly who was trying to actually do something naughty to that person, or you will be able to recognize who is actually behind it. So you need to step in. I'm not saying that you're not going to be able to recognize this later, but I'm saying that now is the right time, and if you do it now, you are also gonna get hold of the very specific informations that you're gonna find beneficial later on, because it's going to help you to avoid certain people and certain situations in life that, you know, once you start, it's very difficult to get out. Sometimes in this life you can start certain journey, you can start a certain process, and no matter how important and how amazing it feels to you, it feels to us, maybe it was just like kind of there just for us to realize that, you know, maybe this is not something that we should do. But then even to get to that point to realize that this is something that maybe we shouldn't do, maybe it's not our path, maybe it's not our journey, even to get to that point, it's like so enlightening in so many different ways, because although at that moment in time we don't realize and we don't understand the lesson that we get out of it, that doesn't matter. Later on we get like very full sense of the full spectrum of the whole picture that I was actually mentioning and talking about. So this is why this is so important. So please try to see who this is, because also I think that person is trying to start something huge and big, and a lot is going on, and then they really need to be careful. On another hand, you know, my gorgeous aquamarines, you are gonna really become aware of at the beginning of the week. This is what I really like, because things are starting to move on really nicely for you. And at the beginning of the week, you're gonna become aware of the future opportunities, you know, and important future opportunities ahead. And someone is going to give you an idea, and then this is when you're gonna start opening up really beautifully and really nicely. So the beginning of the week is going to bring you the future opportunities ahead, and you're almost immediately going to become aware of the actual coming events, you know, new visits and the plans that are going to work really brilliantly. But at the same time, you know, when you become aware of these future opportunities ahead, there is the part of that it's really going to put a little blockage when it comes to these future opportunities ahead, because you will take a lot to become part of this picture when it comes to this thinking mode. You know, you will be thinking a lot of different aspects, and what I need you to understand, because you just have to trust yourself. You must trust yourself. You really have to do not kind of like a focus on the negativity and sadness and darkness on the outside whatsoever. Just ignore it as much as you can. So this is one of the things that you're gonna need to do. But then on another hand, you know, it's also kind of like a be brave, be strong, and it's just like the reflection from the past. It's going to bring you an important insight. Reflection from the past, it's going to bring you an important insight, because you're going to start thinking, you're going to start wondering, and then suddenly, just out of the blue, you're going to be thinking about the specific part of your life that happened quite a few years ago, and there is a very strong element of happiness and excitement. You're feeling really excited, you're feeling really bright, you're feeling really happy. You know, this in itself is going to remind you of the specific situation that you will see, you will become aware of, just yet again, you know, through your own mind, through your own memory. But most importantly, it's going to play an absolutely mind-blowing role when it comes to you thinking about these future opportunities ahead, and that in itself is going to answer an important question to you. A reflection on the past is going to bring you a quite strong and powerful insight here, and this is absolutely brilliant. And you know, because that in itself, it's also going to make you feel so much better, but it's also going to kind of like a start putting you in this mode when it comes to planning. This is brilliant. On another hand, what else is going to happen, my gorgeous aquamarine, is, you know, there is a very important obstacle and challenge that you're going to be very, very successful about. I'm so happy. Listen, this is so important, my gorgeous aquamarine, is because you have been waiting for this for an absolute ages. At around the midweek, this is going to be like boom, 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 like a big mama is like coming in. Hello, my darling. You know, big mama is coming in. This is brilliant. It's to do with like a very important information, news, message that you are going to have. You will know that this is a big moment. You will know that this is a big time, because, you know, on one hand, you're going to overcome a huge obstacle and challenge, but on another hand, you've been waiting for this moment for a long time. And not only you're going to find yourself like, oh my God, something is going to surprise you here, you know, because you are almost immediately going to have a very interesting idea here. But also on another hand, you know, why you're going to feel so surprised is because, oh my God, now just out of the blue, you're going to become aware of something so important that you are having an advantage over someone else. I'm not saying that you were competing with someone else, but I'm saying that you've been working so hard and you're going to be highlighted. So you're going to find yourself in an advantage on an advanced stage here. And this is absolutely brilliant. And that in itself is going to require the second stage here. The second stage of this is going to unfold in you having an important negotiation, very important negotiation with your opponents, okay? Very successful negotiation with your opponents. So this is going to require the second stage, and the second stage of here after this moment in time is going to lead towards a very extremely successful negotiation. And also, you know, there is a very interesting advice that you are going to get, my gorgeous aquamarine, and the advice that you are going to get this week is going to come from someone very spiritual, somebody who's so important to you, and it's to do with a certain obstacle as well, you know, that you've been facing. And the obstacle that you've been facing is just, this is completely different to what I've actually said so far. This is a different obstacle that you've been facing, and this one is just you not to be, you're going to be like kind of not too sure about, you're going to have a question about a specific person, you're going to wonder about someone in your life, because you're going to become aware of maybe some kind of wrongdoings when it comes to someone very specific in your life, and you're going to feel a little bit confused, and this in itself is going to create an obstacle, little obstacle to you in itself, because it's to do with your personal life, it's to do with somebody else in your life. And then this person, the spiritual person that I'm talking about, is going to give you very interesting advice, and this advice you're not going to like to start with, you know, but then at the same time it's almost immediately going to clear so much of emotional confusion, you know, as the time goes by. You're going to need a few days like kind of, oh my God, is this what I've been told, you know, oh my God, but it's going to be good, you know, because it's something that you already know, and it's just something that you're trying to kind of ignore about somebody else, but you need to like step forward now, because it started to affect your life so much, and it's just basically manifested so much of emotional confusion, and it's to do with somebody in your life. Again, this is a lot to do with people in your life, you know. This is an important week, but it doesn't surprise me because of the sacred numbers that we are having. So also, my gorgeous aquamarine, is, you know, it's just something that you're gonna really, first of all, oh my God, you know, you're not gonna kind of believe what you're gonna be told, but then again, to do something like kind of drastic, you know, but then at the end of the day, you know, a few days later, you will see, like, you will be thinking about the emotional confusion that you've been through. You'll be thinking about lots of disharmony that you've had, you know, because of that someone in your life. You know, I mentioned this person has been there for a while, but it's also someone, this is someone who is not being completely honest with you, but I think that you know who this is, and I think that you've known this for a while. But sometimes it's not just so easy, you know, to maybe I don't know, stop something with someone or something like that. I know sometimes it's not easy, but you know, every little step, you know, after this moment in time, it's going to be super important when it comes to you coming out of something that you shouldn't be around with anymore. Okay, my gorgeous people, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I love every single one of you. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light. So I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Thank you ever so much for watching my videos. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.